Got Your Back Podstream is brought to you by Kinprint. For all your company's promotional needs, they do it all. Apparel, promotional products using the highest quality brands. They do logo design, signage, and printing. Kinprint will promote your brand with excellence. Visit kinprint.ca.
After he got out of the box.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm not the only one that makes mistakes on the podcast. Zuby stumbles out of the gate. That's okay, buddy.
We get to clean that up on the audio when it goes.
No, you're not cleaning that up on the audio. We're just going to let her buck, pal. That's the way we do it here on Got Your Back. No editing. We let our mistakes hang out there. Welcome to Got Your Back. Live stream, post-game edition, Battle of Alberta, Heritage Classic. Oilers finally get a win. And, they played pretty good tonight. Rob Brown, Jason Strudwick, standing by to break it all down. As always, the podcast brought to you by our great title sponsors at Sherwood Buick GMC. That Friday the 13th event was something, boy. They sold 50 cars. That's why they've been Canada's #1 GMC dealership 5 years running. They know what they're doing. Their system is streamlined. Go see Phil and the great crew so they can show you what sets them apart. If you mention that the podcast sent you, just say Got Your Back sent me. You'll get specialized pricing, and you will get 3 free detail packages as well on new and used cars. So who doesn't love getting a free detail? That is just off Baseline Road on the way into Sherwood Park, coming to you from the beautiful, luxurious Long Shot studio here in the park. Did you know that all game days are all-day happy hour specials? $5 Long Shots Lager at Long Shots. Out here in Sherwood Park as we say hello to the fellas. Struddy, you're back inside now, buds. You can take the coat off. Like, what do we have going on there, pal?
I
know it was a chilly night, but come on, man.
Yeah, chilly. I was down at the game, volunteered for my son's hockey team. I got there about 11:45, and then I left, obviously, later than that, outside. It was fine. Everyone was outside, but it was a long day. And then I may or may not have met a friend Saturday night outside for to mix and mingle.
May not have met a friend to mix and mingle. Does Shona not listen to the podcast? Like, what are we getting at here? What are we driving at?
I was out. I mean, I don't need everyone to know what I was doing, but I will say I was out. So
any names you want to drop?
Yeah.
Any
old Uncle Noodles was in town, so we always hook up. And it's always like, hey, I think it'll be an early night. And then as soon as that first drink touches my lips, it's like, I'm not sure. Car sleeping over somewhere else.
It's Frank the Tank, or is it Hank the Tank or Frank the Tank? I don't know which
Brownie
one.
knows. We've been together. Brownie knows what I'm talking about.
I know what Struds is talking about. That's fun, Struds. I see him every once in a while. And there's no such thing as anything but fun Noodles. If Noodles is in town, you're going out drinking.
I like doing stuff, and you have my number, Struds. I like fun. I like stuff.
Yeah, I know. Well, you've got the whole you're getting in shape. The bad back is trying to turn around. Like you're not prime Rishaug. I need prime Rishaug to come.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, tonight on the podcast. So we are live streaming on Twitter and on YouTube for now. I was having all kinds of internet issues. That's why we're on late. So I could disappear literally at any second on this podcast, at which point it will dramatically improve. Struds will take over hosting, and Brownie will then be in the co-pilot seat. So we're going to break down the game here. Struds World, we're going to have us ask us anything as well. So feel free to send in your questions on the stream. Steve Taylor, our other behind-the-scenes op, was at the game tonight. So he's from Kelowna, but I saw him out here. So Zuby, I noticed you gave him the day off so he could come to the game. And you are working.
I'm a benevolent
leader.
Sure, yeah.
I got a picture in here somewhere of Steve.
He's a fan on another level from me. I didn't even consider it.
He's kind of next level fan of this whole operation.
Yeah,
there's Steve, normally working behind the scenes, but ran into him there, boys.
Nice mustache, Steve.
Yeah, looking good, buddy. It was a fun night, though. Struds, we actually get to breaking the game down, guys, maybe just a thought. Brownie, you were right down there. Struds, you were there. All three of us were there tonight. Struds, what'd you make of the spectacle, buddy?
I was really proud. I was proud as an Edmontonian. You know, I think that these games are a lot for the community that it's in, but also people are getting a kind of a look at your city. And I thought that, you know, the city, the organization for sure, the NHL, it looked great. It looked fantastic, you know, from the little details in and around the rink, you know, the planes flying over. I thought, you know, the Nickelback, the whole thing, I thought they did a really good show. So I was very proud. That was my feeling as I walked out. Brownie?
Yeah, I agree. Yesterday I went down to the Ice District and did a thing with Sirius. Went on with them, and just being in that area where they had all these different events set up. They had these trailers, hardest shot. You can get your hockey card made, things like that. There's a lot of fans from both Calgary and Edmonton there. And then today I was at the rink or at Commonwealth today at 2, and we were right up against the glass. So we were like right down where it was all happening. And again, I was expecting a lot, and I think it still exceeded my expectations. It looked like I'm dating myself when I say it looked cool. Like I was down there, ice level. The players come on, they're wearing their toques, and I'm watching them. And in the background, it's Commonwealth is filling up in the stands, and everything about it was. I thought they did a fantastic job. Now I don't know how many this is now for the NHL they've done, but they try to improve each and every time, and it was excellent. Everything about it was excellent, and then it was topped off with an Edmonton Oilers win.
Yeah, top notch. And were you guys at the first one? I was there. Struds were. No, you wouldn't have been at the first one, Struddy. Brownie,
I had tickets and chose to stay home and watch it on TV. It was cold.
Yeah, I think I was playing in Calgary, if I remember that night.
Really?
I wasn't there.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was nuts how cold that first one was, and it was. I mean, we'd never seen anything like that before, so being part of the first one was very cool. And I thought they did a great job tonight. I thought. Mm-hmm. I mean, the highlight of this event, quite honestly, guys, and I'm not one that really cares much about this stuff. I don't pay much attention to it. The Oiler jerseys and equipment and everything were absolutely sensational at this event. When I first saw them come out, I was kind of like, we'll see. But in that spectacle, with that backdrop on that ice, I was taken by it. I was like, man, did they ever do a good job of that stuff? And again, I mean, Gazzola is the jersey guy, not me, but I just thought the spectacle looked amazing, and their outfits were kind of the leading the charge there.
Yeah, the pants look great.
Teams.
One at a time, you two.
Yeah, go ahead, Brownie.
Yeah, I think both teams look good. I thought the Flames jerseys were awesome too. I thought they did a good job. I enjoyed when they come out and warm up and they got their toques on. It looked well. It looked like they were going out on a lake somewhere and gonna have a little 5-on-5 hockey game just with their buddies. That's what it seemed like, and that's what they're looking for in these outdoor games. And I thought they knocked it out of the park.
Okay, let's break down the game here in our breakdown. Second segment, we're going to go bigger picture. How you feeling about the Oilers' last 3 games? Are they turning the corner? Are they pulling out of this? Right? Are they playing the kind of hockey that might allow them to actually sustain some higher level play? We'll dig into that bigger picture stuff in our takeaway segment. But for now, time for the breakdown brought to you by Mr. Dirk, the iconic men's clothing store in Edmonton, founded in 39. If you've never been, you got to check it out. It's just off White Avenue and 102nd Street. They got a beautiful new shop. If you want to elevate your wardrobe with suits, shirts, ties, all that kind of stuff that you might wear to work, they've got tons of selection, and Dan and Sterling will help you find exactly what you need. Great casual selection as well. So that's Mr. Dirk, one-stop shop for all your clothing needs. Visit mrdirk.com. I was not surprised that they came out of the gate well. I was not surprised that they took the moment and harnessed it and were the better team early. None of that surprised me. To me, guys, and I'm kind of maybe going backwards with this, but Brownie, when Calgary started to counterpunch and when Calgary started to pull their way back somewhat into that game late in the second period, I was like, here it is. This is the moment. Are the Oilers going to be different? And they were different tonight in that key moment.
They were. And now it's the Calgary Flames too, and they're not near as strong a team. They don't have any pushback up front. That is a team that cannot score goals. Their best players, Jonathan Huberdeau, I'm a fan of, but he was invisible in this game tonight. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't the New York Rangers. It wasn't the Minnesota Wild. but they handled it well. They handled the pressure. To me, I thought they played a perfect game, take away the discipline problems. I thought they took some silly penalties in this hockey game. Outside of that, from top to bottom, from beginning to end, this was, I think, their most complete game of the season. And it bodes well. I know that you're going to talk, Leon and the guys afterwards talked about it, that this is something that they can build on, and they're going to have to build on. But I thought it was a complete effort from start to finish.
Yeah, I don't think we can underestimate the impact of getting 97 back. I mean, he's, the most dynamic player in the league. So you get energized just from that. Everyone gets excited that the big man's back. But the whole team came out with pace, and they played well right away. I mean, what did Skinner have? Like, was it 9 shots through half the game or so? Like, that's a pretty quiet, low event time for the Oilers, especially. And I to your point, Chagra, I think that after Kadri scores, so the Oilers come back and score right away before the end of the period. I think that's a huge that's a huge thing. Maybe early in the year they don't get that goal from Bouchard, or even maybe the Flames score to tie it up.
Yeah, I just like the fact, and you could see, like, Desharnais didn't even know that he scored, but did you see the way he and they celebrated that goal?
Yeah.
Because you got the sense the team knew the moment it was in. They're like, here we are again. We had a lead, and when we let it slip away a little bit, and they didn't want to write the same script. And so if you go back and watch Desharnais, and I'm sure he's happy to be in on the offense, but if you look at the way they celebrated that goal, it was just such a big goal for that group in that moment to have pulled momentum back finally the right way, and to actually have their foot on a team's throat instead of just letting them right back into it. Let's go over the penalties they early on, Strud. So Brownie talked about some discipline issues, but 2 5-on-3s, like 2 5-on, like what the heck? But at the same time, Darnell Nurse, like, take 1 shot. Don't take 2 at the guy, because you're challenging the refs.
Yeah, the refs don't want to be embarrassed. But quite honestly, to get a 5-on-3 once in a game, it's not shocking, but you're like, okay, this is brutal. To have it happen twice that quickly as the game starts, as a coach, he must have been like pulling his hair out. And I get it. You're excited, like Darnell's excited, and you're trying to do something good, but you also have to kind of just be a little bit calmer, understand where you're at and how things are progressing, because you don't want to embarrass the refs. So yeah, that Brownie, that was actually shocking, considering how they've been playing and the results they've been getting. They can't afford to put themselves behind the 8 ball.
Well, this was a game at 5-on-5. They absolutely dominated the game, and the only reason the Flames hung around is the power play. They scored 2 power play goals, and on the power, it's funny. I saw Leon was complaining about the penalty he got, but he broke his stick. He tried hitting the puck with his broken stick. Then he carried his stick all the way to the bench while he kicked the puck out. That's as easy a call as you're ever going to get. So the 4 penalties they got were all deserved. And that's if there's just one thing out of this game that you'd like to take out of it for the following game, a little more discipline, because everything else about their game tonight was spot on.
Let them have it, people. I can feel the people on the stream just absolutely fuming at you, Brownie, because Oiler fan on Twitter was not happy about those calls after the fact. I don't disagree with you. I mean, Leon kicked the puck. You're supposed to drop those broken sticks. Like, you can't do anything with a busted stick like that. You got to completely be out of the play, and you got to just drop it.
Yeah, well, he actually tried shooting the puck with his broken stick. That's a penalty there. And then he skated and he kicked the puck, and he still had the stick when he went to the bench. That was easy for the referee to call that one.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll talk like the penalty kill to me, that I think it was the 3rd period, right? They had that big kill. And the penalty kill is something they want to be able to rely on. And I thought tonight it was really reliable, Struds, and really came through for them when it mattered. And I think that's going to be really good for that unit. That unit needs confidence.
Well, let's not hand out medals. They gave up 2, right? Like, I think it's a little bit. I'm not getting. Well, no, like, am I the only guy that thinks it's bad to give up 2 penalty kill goals in one game?
I'm on your side, Struds.
Yeah, I just, so let me just double check these notes. Yeah, checks the notes. Yeah, they were 2 for 6. So, that's a pretty rough night, actually, right?
Pretty timely kill in the 3rd, though, no?
Yeah, that was timely. But so let's go the second power play goal. Uyghur skates through, gets some speed, skates through everybody, takes a shot. And as he's skating back into the zone, McLeod is watching Uyghur skate through everybody, and he doesn't come through back through the middle of the ice. There's a shot off a pretty hot rebound, and the Flames player wheels in there and just hammers it home. McLeod had no idea that guy was there. He had no idea. If that was a grizzly bear and he was attacked, he would have been dead. He was dead. He had no idea he was there. And you can't do that. So
wasn't Ekholm part of it at the blue line?
Enthusiasm that you and Brownie have for this penalty kill.
I was on your side a second ago.
No, I know you're just saying that I'm a little grumpy. I'm a little tired, but I just can't. I can't share the enthusiasm, guys. I'm sorry. It's no doubt it's a timely kill, but come on. I mean, that's a tough one.
Wasn't 14 at the blue line too and got walked around there? I like how you focus on the forward, but
well, there's 14 up to, and you have to pick each other up, right? You got to pick them. But you're right. It was tough. That was a tough transition there for Ekholm, but. If you go back and watch the rebound, he has no idea, he being McLeod, who's coming by. And all he had to do was kind of get in that lane and slow him up, and he would have been the first guy there. So just another detail, and so that kills you on the penalty kill. Pardon the pun. I'm not even sure that's a pun.
Little appreciation for number 91 in that third period there. I mean, he had a good night overall, Brownie, but how about Evander Kane in that third period with his presence? And I mean, that's the way that guy needs to play.
It is. I think probably the first 3-4 games of the season were quiet for Evander Kane. The last 3 or 4 have not been. He's been noticeable. He plays a loud game. He's all over the score sheet, whether it be hits, points, penalties. He's involved, and you can see he's playing with some swagger. And a thing that the Oilers have missed early in the season is they have not played with swagger. When they used to have Mike Smith here, Mike Smith was the leader of the swag. He was the one they followed. Well, when they got Evander Kane, he is the swagger for this team. Leon and Connor are quiet players when it comes to the emotions they show on ice. Kane isn't. He's a guy that they want to follow, and we've seen in the last 4 games that Kane has been a much louder player, and when he plays loud, he plays effective.
Struds, did we just take your Struddy's World? Let's not have you comment on Kane, because that's your Struddy's World tonight, isn't it?
Is there anything else? Do you want me to tell you what I'm getting my kids for their birthday? Or, I mean, like, holy jeez.
I even have it in my notes. Struddy's World is Kane. And so you got to think of something between now and then.
You're mad because I didn't agree with you on the penalty kill. You just completely crap on my Struddy's World.
Time for, actually, you know what? We're going to do Struddy's World right now. Time for Struddy's World, brought to you by. Quick, think of something, Struts.
Oh my God.
You've got like 10 minutes before the segment. That's funny. That actually reminds me, we'll go off script for just a second here. My first night anchoring CFRN Evening News, the sports segment. And the way it used to work is we would give the anchor like a sentence to throw to us with. And so Daryl McIntyre, I'm so nervous. Daryl McIntyre ignores the sentence I gave him and instead threw to me with my first paragraph of my script. So he read that and threw to me, and I look up, and what he just said to me is what I'm looking at in the teleprompter.
Yeah.
So now I've got a choice. I either got to try and ad lib or just reread the exact same words, and I think I reread the exact same words. So that's effectively what we've just done to you, Struds, for Struddy's World.
Fine.
Look forward to your thoughts on Evander Kane.
Yeah.
Brownie, what else you want to talk about? I mean, we touched on McDavid there a little bit. Some people are asking about Warren Fogle on that top line. I mean, what did you think about the way that Connor played and the way that Jay Woodcroft used his lines? Because it was pointed out to me tonight, he did kind of what you said, and he had the 2 like third liners and then guys siphoning through that middle with 11 forwards. So you kind of called that one.
Every once in a while, I get lucky. I thought McDavid looked good. I mean, it's funny. I was there early, so we're sitting there, and all of the players on both teams came out, and they're playing. I think it's called sewer ball with the soccer ball, and they're playing. And first of all, they're playing football, and McLeod and Holloway can throw spirals about 50 yards. They were spot on every single time. Then they started playing soccer, and all of a sudden, a big roar comes out about 20 minutes into the soccer game. And Connor McDavid came out and played soccer. So I'm like, okay, if he's healthy enough to play in a soccer game, he's probably healthy enough to play in the hockey game. He looked good. He did not look like he missed any time. As far as the Lions, Fogle looked fine up there. He's earned the right. But as the game went on, as you saw, the Lions got mixed up. Hyman was up there with Leon and Connor at times. I think Fogle has earned the right for more ice time, but he's also a guy that's leading and carrying lines. And I think it's more effective if he's on your third line, and then you can all of a sudden have a third line that creates a little more, because right now the one third line player that's not creating is McLeod, and they got to get that third line going.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that, Fogle he's not going to be a permanent fixture in the top 6. I think he just comes up and down, bobs around. And they're looking for any kind of spark, right? And the guy that was going, you put him up there. But I just don't think these lines are set yet. I still think that they're waiting. I think McLeod's a guy they're waiting for. I think Connor Brown's a guy they're waiting for. I think Dylan Holloway is still, work in progress. I think Nugent Hopkins, maybe another guy that they're trying to get a little bit more consistent. So I just don't think it's that top 9 is set. I think we may have an idea what the lines could look like, but they're not set.
How do you feel about the D, Struds? We've been focusing a lot on the Ekholms and Bouchards and how they've looked. It was a few tough nights for Evan Bouchard. He got a lot of compliments from his coach tonight. Scores another goal. The offense has been there for him. But what'd you see?
Yeah, I think we got it. When we are critical of Bouchard, I think we also have to recognize when he's been solid. I think the last 2 games he's kind of been low event, right? A low event, at least in his own end. And I think that's what you're looking for. It's not a slight saying that he's played badly. It's a good thing. You want your D-men to have low event nights in their own zone, and then you can move and groove as much as you want on the offensive blue line and the way he scored there. So I thought that was great. And you can tell by the way they use their D. Broberg didn't play a second with Ekholm. They weren't even allowed to warm up on the same ice together. They weren't even out there for a second. So I think that tells you where things are at, because I think that the other 2 played like 15, 16 minutes together. Ekholm and Bouchard being the other 2.
Yeah. Well, the offense is coming for Evan Bouchard this year, and that's a good sign. So as he tightens it up in his own end, should make a big difference. Brownie, do you feel like Ekholm's kind of getting back to form a little bit here? Like Jay Woodcroft said after the game, maybe he's not back where they know he can be, but he's getting there.
He is. I thought it was a better game. Missing training camp is tough for anyone. As you get older, it gets even harder. You got the engines going again. So he's a smart hockey player. Yeah, he will get there. But I do believe that as far as the defense, this was the best defensive effort we've seen in a while for the Oilers. Again, low event. There weren't odd man breaks. There weren't poor pinches. There weren't misreads. They played a much simpler game. Part of it's the forwards are helping out, but I thought all the defensemen tonight made it a very simple, low event game and limited the Calgary Flames having there weren't any easy chances for Calgary. And too many times in the last couple of games, the other team didn't have to earn their opportunities. The Oilers gave it to them. And tonight, they gave the Calgary Flames really nothing.
Let's get to the Weiss Johnson Sound Box. They cover heating and air conditioning, and they're some of the best around at doing it. Until November 1st, if you install a new garage heater air conditioner at the same time, you get $800 off. Enjoy the luxury of air conditioning at this year's pricing and beat the rush on getting your garage heater installed. Visit Weiss-Johnson.com.
Weiss Johnson, Weiss Johnson,
So I was driving home, and I don't know what clips that you picked. Zuby, I know you pulled a whole bunch. Do you have one that you would say is your favorite? Not necessarily. Yeah, I'm going to leave it to you. Which one are you going to throw at us, buddy?
Well, we got Struds picked one specifically from Leon, and I really like the one from Kane, but I don't want to do any more damage to Struddy's world by playing the Kane clip, if that's a problem.
Unbelievable.
He's going to have nothing left.
This might be the best Struddy's world ever. You don't get to talk.
Yeah. So he'll go to his fallback position and talk about pruning hedges and stuff. Play a clip. Tell us who it is and play a clip, Zuby.
Let's do Leon. He was asked if this game could be a springboard.
It could be, but we can't fall back into what we did the last couple of weeks. You know, this is a big win for us, big night, but it's only one game. We got some catching up to do right now. So we'll celebrate tonight and then get ready for the next game.
Shoot, that's the clip that we pulled for takeaways. We were supposed to save that for the next segment, so we've now pooched the second segment of the podcast with our lack. See, I was coming home from the stadium. I didn't have a chance to organize this stuff. You guys have been sitting there for 45 minutes, and we're a disorganized mess here tonight.
Empower us to take a leadership role.
I can't. I'm a micromanager. I'm a chronic micromanager. You guys know that. Okay, listen, we'll get to takeaways in a minute here. That'll wrap up the breakdown for now. When we come back, we're going to dig into a little bit about what Leon Draisaitl was just talking about, right? How much of a springboard can this be? A big environment, some pressure, not happy with where you're at, and they seem to rise to the moment. And what can that mean for this group? What do we think of their play? Brownie, are you sticking around? I forgot to ask you.
Well, I want to hear what Struddy's doing in Struddy's world now. Absolutely, I'm sticking around.
Sticking around. Rob Brown's appearances on the pod, by the way, brought to you by Kinprint. Although we're taking a lot of heat because your video is still reversed.
I don't know how to change it. Okay, seriously, I'm computer illiterate.
Yeah,
I don't know what to do. Like I could turn. Like if I
no,
turn like
that's
this,
not going to work, bud. No, that's completely did nothing. Well, then I don't know a great logo, but you can see the logo up on the top right side of the screen there. But a great local company, decades of experience filling any and all of your promotional apparel and embroidery needs. Visit kinprint.ca. Struds is so unimpressed with the way the show has gone so far.
Writing everything.
So mad.
I mean, writing the whole thing going on here. Jeez.
Look at him. We're right off the rails, but stick around. Lots more quality hockey talk, we hope. Short break. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, it's Kelly here for United Sport and Cycle. The wait is over. United's annual Hockey Day sale is finally here. Save 20% off on select CCM and Bauer skates. Save 35% off on all Bauer and CCM Pro Stock sticks. And save up to 25% off on select Bauer and CCM equipment. And for you goalies, save up to 20% off select Bauer, Warrior, and CCM goal gear. Trust the experts at your home of hockey for over 95 years. United Sport and Cycle.
Are you ready to elevate your moving experience? Trusted for over 100 years, Ferguson Moving and Storage are your partners in relocation, ensuring your journey is smooth and stress-free. And say goodbye to surprises with Ferguson's transparent flat rate pricing. Contact them now for a free moving quote and use a promo code Ferguson to receive $100 off your next move. Visit FergusonMoving.com and let them lift your expectations.
All right, let's hit the reset button. Let's up the professionalism level here, up the organization. Let's have a strong second half of the podcast. Time for takeaways. Brought to you by Redefined Health. They specialize in total body and mind wellness. From chiropractic and massage care treatments to acupuncture, soft tissue therapy, nutrition, even an on-site registered psychologist, Redefined Health is here to help you get well and stay healthy for a lifetime. Check out Dr. Tyler Fix and his operation, redefinedhealth.com. I thought the music was solid tonight. I thought I love Brett Kissel's version of the Canadian National Anthem. There's something about the cadence and the way he sings it. He always crushes it, so I thought he was great. And Nickelback was really good. I had not seen them live, and I have to say, I was impressed, man. That is a tight band live. Okay, then. Anyway, good contribution, guys. Holy smokes. Zuby, is there anything you'd like to say about the music tonight? What is with you guys?
It was probably better. Maybe it was better live.
I thought Nickelback was it. I actually played years ago. The Junos were in Edmonton, and Gord Bamford put on a Juno Cup where he had a bunch of hockey players and a bunch of musicians play together. And Nickelback played in it. Chad was on a bench. He was a coach, but the rest of the players played, including one of them played net. And one of the guys on the bench came off, and he turns to me and he says, "Okay, I don't know what to do, but that Tiger Williams on the other team says he's going to kill me." And he goes, "What do I do?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm sitting beside Lanny McDonald. Ask Lanny." I go, "Lanny, the Tiger says he's going to kill him. What should you do?" "Don't go near Tiger. If you see him on the ice, just leave the ice. I'm not sure what Tiger's going to do to you." This poor guy, just his eyes are like, "Oh my God." So that's my Nickelback story.
There you go.
I'm a big fan
any
of
Nickelback stories?
Yeah, I love it. I love Nickelback. I think they're great. I would like to have seen them play "Burn It to the Ground." I love that song.
Yeah,
I think it's a little more pace. But whatever. I mean, who am I to judge? But I would have liked to heard that song.
Take your coat off. Stay a while, buds.
I can't. But it was cold out there, man.
Well, but you're
I was
home now.
hawking, merchandise and hot dogs,
Furnace. They're
hamburgers.
selling furnaces at
Working
Working for
Commonwealth
Weiss
today.
Johnson outside the stadium tonight.
I was doing it all. I was doing it all actually. But
Somebody
yeah,
came up to me and was like, Struddy's giving away beer. So
Yeah, I
they said
know,
you were in
I
a
know.
beer tent handing away free beer or something.
I had so many. No, I was selling beer. I was literally working it. It's so funny. Like people were coming up like, oh man, this is like, is this what alumni do now? I'm like, I'm here raising money for my son's hockey team. Like, people are like, hey, I love the pod. One guy actually agreed with me about spreading out the minutes. He's like, you and I are the only people in Western Canada believe that should happen. I'm like, yeah, I know. We're pioneers. But anyways, yeah, it was a long day. It was a long day, guys. Yeah, whatever.
Okay, so just so you guys know, this is the way the segment's going to work. I'm going to say something, and then you guys take a turn talking. So just in case there was any
let's do it.
misinterpretation of the way this is supposed to work. So we'll go a little bit bigger picture here with the Oilers, right? Lots of concern about the way their season has started. Picked by many as a favorite to get to the Cup final, if not win it, and they sputter with just one win in their first 7 games. But I would submit to you, Struds, that in their last 3 games, they've actually been closer to their best hockey than I think they had really at pretty much any point earlier on in the season. But it was about avoiding the big dips in their play. And so my sense is they're getting closer to the team that they want to be. And tonight, I think, could be a big step in that direction. You heard Leon Draisaitl say it earlier. It could be. But what do you think, Struds? Can Oiler fan relax a little now? Your turn. Go.
I think more importantly, I think it's a chance for the team to relax and just take a deep breath and say, okay, this hasn't been the start we wanted. You know, they have 5 points. It's a big, I know it's not 15, but it's a long ways from 3. So you're feeling better about yourself. But I think it gives the opportunity for the team a couple things. They can relax for a second and say, okay, we can win again. We can score, and we have different guys scoring, but they don't now play for a few days. So tomorrow's a day off. If I was a team, I'd have a very hard and focused practice Tuesday, not like 2 hour, but I'm talking 30, 40 minutes of really detailed work on your defense, like battling, competing, all that kind of stuff that, you know, you kind of want to work into your game, just to kind of prepare for that game Thursday. It also gives Ekholm a chance. Okay, I've been playing now a number of games. I have tomorrow off. I'm going to come back, have 2 really good practices, and then play Thursday. So I think we'll see this an opportunity for him to kind of inch forward. So I think that it's a nice chance for a pause, but to really double down on what you're trying to do as a team and be ready when you hit the ground against Thursday against a very good Dallas team.
See, I don't think the last 2 other games were very good before this. I thought they were not good at all against the Rangers. I thought that easily could have been a 6-7-0 game. They didn't show up really offensively till the 3rd period. And against Minnesota, Campbell was their best player, and he gave up 6. I thought tonight they were very good, and I thought the game against the Winnipeg Jets, the Jets game, the Oilers were by far the better team. And I thought very unlucky not to win it. And so the Jets game and the Flames game, to me, are the 2 best games they've played. But it is something to work off of. And I think Struds made a point of the 4 days off. This is a team that's been under stress the entire season. They got off to a bad start in the 8-1 loss, and they've just been taking question after question, reading the newspapers, reading social media. Everything has been negative towards them. They get 4 days, feel good about themselves because they had this huge event here in Edmonton, and they played. Just think about it right now. Before the game started, Calgary and Edmonton were both struggling. We're talking about how excited the Oilers are going to be for the next 4 days. Can you imagine what the Calgary newspapers and media and radio stations, what they're going to be talking about, because they weren't good in this game? So the Oilers, they get to feel good about themselves for 4 games, and I think that's huge for this team.
I don't like the lull in games, though, Struds. I think if they played well tonight, I think they captured something, and I bet, man, if they had their choice, they'd just get rolling again really quick, don't you think?
No, I just think because their game is not set, right? I think they get an opportunity to kind of set that in stone, whatever it is they're trying to do, whatever adjustments they're trying to do, just keep hammering that. And now they have a full roster. Everyone should be healthy. Because in training camp, I don't think they had 1 day of practice where everyone was healthy, working on it. So just kind of keep getting on the same page and start building keep some momentum that way. So I understand what you're saying. But the coach in me, if I was coaching, I'd be like, this is a great, valuable time here to make it happen.
Yeah. Summer asking about the defensive system. I think maybe Gregor had mentioned he thought that they had reverted back. I leaned on someone that has a little bit more, some coaching experience and asked a similar question early in the game. I don't think that they reverted back to what they were doing before. I think they adjusted. I think they were a little bit more aggressive in their own end and trying to pursue the guys with the puck. But I didn't see a total regression back to what they were doing last year. Did you, Struds?
No, I didn't. And I saw the tweet from Gregor and I was like, okay, that, what are we looking for? What are we trying to find here? And it's so subtle. Like, again, you got to separate the two things, the systems and the individual habits. And I just think that the individual habits for the Oilers were better tonight than what we've seen previously. Now, did they do some tweaks to allow them to do that? Yes. But like staying between the man and the net, lifting his stick, making it hard for him to get off the wall. Like those are individual habits that every system is going to want you to use. So I would give credit more to individual habits than maybe any slight change or variation to their D zone, Brownie.
I agree. I think the execution was much better. I think they made better plays in their own zone. They got the pucks out quicker. The forwards did a better job backtracking. A number of times coming through the neutral zone, the forwards came back, lifted sticks, and went the other way. So I think all those played a part in why they were better defensively, and then throw in the fact that it wasn't a very good Calgary Flames team.
Oof.
I think you got to. That is not a good team. They don't create
was
a
that
lot.
rough, hey?
Yeah, and again, like Huberdeau, that was the big signing, and I thought it was going to be a great signing for Calgary. Didn't notice him tonight. Dylan Dubé didn't notice him tonight. Mangiapane didn't notice him as much. That is a team I think that can defend well, but I don't know where they're going to score their goals. And I think tonight we saw that. I don't know if they really threatened the Oilers when it got to 3-2. I didn't really feel that the Oilers were in any kind of trouble. I just think they felt pretty comfortable because the Calgary Flames really weren't generating a whole lot.
11:49 at even strength for Kadri, 11:31 for Huberdeau, like 13:35 for Dryden Hunt. I mean, and Solovalji, who was here covering the Flames, he was telling me like they deployed those guys like a third line basically tonight. I mean, your buddy Ryan Huskastruds, like he talked after the game, they're just trying to find some chemistry. They can't find any chemistry. Like the situation is not good there, man. That was an ugly showing tonight in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I haven't watched every Flames game, but when I watch those two guys, I just don't think they've kind of engaged in the season. Like it doesn't feel like they're bringing their best effort every night. And they're skilled players, there's no doubt. So you can get away with that a little bit. But the problem is when you play other good players that are working and trying hard, it kind of overshadows what you're trying to do. So yeah, those two guys specifically, Kadri and Huberdeau, they've got to find a better version of themselves and quick. Otherwise, that team is in trouble. And you got a lot of pending UFAs. The GMs talked about we don't want to deal with all these, let these guys walk away. I mean, this team could look a lot different, around whatever the trade deadline is, right? Game 60 or whatever.
All right, that was Takeaways brought to you by Redefined Health. Struds, what do you think of Evander Kane? Give me some takeaways and some thoughts on Evander Kane here for a couple of minutes. We'll get to Struddy's World after the break. No, go with that. Zuby, do you have the video of the guys arriving in the Martin Motorsports stuff? If you have this, of course, Martin Motorsports, fantastic sponsor here on the pod. They're actually the ones that hooked the guys up with their transportation from the bus into the rink. And so I think they might have rolled this in on the broadcast, but this is a tweet from Derek Wills. There's the guys, and that's Martin Motorsports vehicles escorting the fellas in those fantastic outfits into the stadium. So Chris and the crew from Martin Motorsports was on hand for the game tonight and providing a little transportation for the boys. So well done by Martin Motorsports. Quick break. When we come back, Struddy's World. Struddy's going to dig a little into Evander Kane's presence.
If you own or operate a business, you know the value of a great employee. Just ask Schauger. Pathfind is here to help you find your next star player to help take your business to the next level. Pathfind can help with recruitment, career transition, leadership coaching, They truly have your whole team covered. Building you a championship caliber roster. Find your team's path forward at pathfind.ca.
Longshots Golf is the destination for both golf enthusiasts and sports fans. Top-of-the-line TrackMan simulators provide a highly entertaining and accurate golf experience, while a full-service sports bar loaded with big screens and scratch kitchen make it a truly unique destination. They have locations in Sherwood Park and Edmonton. Experience the best indoor golf and sports bar in town. Visit longshots.ca. That's longshots with a Z.ca.
If you're looking for a night out on the town and want to make sure you and your fellow fun lovers arrive safe and in style, call Ahmed Enterprises. With their stretch limos and party buses, they can accommodate groups up to 22. Servicing Edmonton and area, Ahmed Enterprises provides luxurious, reliable, professional transportation. Whether it be weddings, parties, casino nights, game night at the arena, or any occasion, give them a call at 780-231-6018 or check them out online at ahmedenterprise.com. Benching Got Your Back sent you to get 10% off your luxury ride.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy. God, I look good.
Struddy's World brought to you by DLR Vinyl. Deck and fencing products, locations in Calgary and Edmonton. They provide beautiful maintenance-free fencing and decking materials, and the key is maintenance-free, because once it goes in, no sanding, no staining, no painting. It goes in, it stays in, it looks great the day it goes in, and it stays that way. So Rick runs the branch here in Edmonton. That's my brother. And my younger brother, Rob, runs the branch out in Calgary. We got lots of listeners out in Calgary. So if you're looking for some maintenance-free fencing or decking, in Calgary, give Rob a call at the branch out there. DLRvinylproducts.ca. Struddy, what's on your mind tonight, bud? Talk to us about Evander.
Yeah, so the wind got taken out of my sails a little bit when Schauger cut the knees out from underneath me. But anyways, I just want to discuss Evander Kane. And obviously, I think that the start has been troubling for a lot of the players. But Evander, give him credit. He's dug himself out in many ways. It started with a couple fights. The comments made intermission, and whether they were intentional or not, they had any effect on the team. I think it affected him. And he's at his best when he's emotionally connected to the game. We saw a moment tonight where he got into it with some of the Flames players. And unless you're watching the game, you might not have seen it, but he said to the assembled people that are upset with him, he said, what is anybody going to do about this? What is anyone going to do about it? And I love it because he's right. Like, you look up and down that Flames lineup, maybe the toughest guy would maybe be Zadorov. And they've had tougher teams in the past, but, the current management group isn't going that way. So he's basically challenging the whole group. And it is very upsetting when someone challenges your whole group and no one is able to answer or doesn't want to answer. And so he is setting the tone with it, the way he plays physical, the way he's challenging other players, just with his words. But the big thing is when he gets going and feels that way, I think the goals come for him. When he's not involved in it, the chirping and the hitting, all that, I don't think he's as good as a player. He needs to have the physical play to have the goals come to him, guys. So, I didn't want to steal all of Brownie's ideas. I stole a couple, I'm sure.
No, that's basically everything he said in the first segment. So, Brownie, I thought you said it a lot more succinctly, and it took you less time.
But it's true though. Kane in the last 4 games, he was one of the players that's actually started to play better, and he's starting to drag the rest of the players into the fight. And he is the physical heartbeat of this team. And tonight, I mean, he plays on the edge and he crossed the edge. The one hit was from behind, but it also sending a message to the Calgary Flames. And those are the kind of hits that teams will try to kill off. You know what? You send a message. We'll kill that one off for you because we want that message sent. So Kane has been excellent the last 4 games without any doubt.
Do you know what I like about Evander Kane? It's that, he's a skill guy and he can score some goals and make some skill plays. But a lot of skill guys, it's like, okay, if you're not scoring, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what's on your list of other things you can do if it's not going in for you? And Evander Kane's list is long. And he had some things to say, but then he backed it up, Struds, and he backed it up with some of that other stuff, the stuff that's not as comfortable to go do. He has a bunch of different ways that he can affect a game, and he's getting to those different ways now.
Yeah, well, Jay used the term, he touches the game in a lot of ways. And so I think that's how you find confidence. So if you are a player that is solely relies on goal scoring, which is a great thing to have. I wish I had that, and a lot of people probably wish they had. But, if you're not scoring, you can lose your confidence, and it's hard to find it again if you're, a guy that doesn't have other areas of the game. You can say, man, I'm really doing this well or doing that well. But with Kane, the goals weren't coming. He really got physical. He started fighting. Now he's emotionally engaged, and the goals are coming. So it is a nice way. I think it spreads it out a little bit. Brownie gives you more chance to kind of reignite that pilot light of your game when you have that type of different weapons at your disposal.
Well, it's funny because coaches will always say, if things aren't going right in what you do best, get out of your comfort zone. And I remember Sam Gagner was a guy that every once in a while things weren't going, he would go out and hit someone or fight someone. Well, the thing is with Evander Kane, he's never outside his comfort zone in any of these things. So if, say, Nugent Hopkins, when we've seen him fight occasionally, he's outside his comfort zone, and all of a sudden the whole bench is like erupted. Look at Nugent's fighting out there. Well, Kane's comfort zone is fighting, is hitting, is chirping, is scoring, is getting in the blue paint. He's comfortable in all those places, and that's why he was such a valuable part of the Oilers when he first came here, because he brought that to a team that was a perimeter team. And when he came here, everyone became a little bit tougher. And I think that's what you're seeing over the last 4 games.
Yeah. And, I think guys around him, like he can pull guys into that fight. We've seen him do that since he's been here, Struds. Remember that night in Minnesota? It was him against like 4 Wild players. Yeah. And then he had a few things to say about that after. And then this team kind of toughened up a little bit around him. We made a mistake in that first segment too, by the way. We never talked about Vinny Desharnais in his first NHL goal. Like we never really, gave him enough of a moment, Strud. So I'm going to allow you a little bit of time in Struddy's world to maybe have an original thought. But what do you think of Desharnais in that first goal, man? Let's make that the second half of Struddy's world.
So I'm glad you brought that up. Scoring your first goal was so special, especially, with Vinny, and you just such a great story. Oh, thank you. Thank God. I should more of this. But what's funny is that it wasn't a pretty one. That's not one that you're going to put on a picture. To me, it looked a little bit like you might see a cricket shot that kind of comes and then the bounce takes a really hard bounce up and hits the wickets. But it's funny when it shot and I was watching it live, I didn't think it got tipped. And people were, it's Kane's goal, but I didn't think it really got tipped. It didn't look like it moved that way, but also just a reaction from the players on the ice. I didn't get the sense. So really happy for him. And now he's got that. But you think about it, again, the D-men come through, right? You got Kulak scoring the first one and then a pretty big goal for Desharnais at that moment. So, the D-men are scoring. It'd be nice to get some forwards joining that parade, Brownie.
Well, what? I feel bad, though, for Desharnais. Scoring your first NHL goal is really cool. And the excitement level is through the roof. He had a chance tonight, had they given it to him right away, to have 55,000 people cheering as he gets to put his hands up and then go down the line of the bench first and high five everybody. And I'm sad for him that he missed that moment. Like after his, you got that goal. It's not the same as being acknowledged by the entire place that you just scored your first goal. So I felt bad for him on that one. I agree. I turned to Reed as soon as the went in. I said, that didn't go off Kane. That went right in. And it was like one of those ones you see in a baseball game where the shortstop goes down to block the ball and all of a sudden he hits something and you're like, oh my God. Like Markstrom had no chance on that. But what it was, though, was Desharnais getting the puck through and on net. And it's just a simple play and good things can happen. So good for Desharnais. Here's a kid who's, 26, plays his first NHL game all those years in the minors. Yeah. And 3 years ago, do you think he was expecting to score an NHL goal in front of 55,000 people in a football stadium? Yeah. Good for him.
12 minutes and 37 seconds played and a massive goal that really, I think, settled the Oilers down at a time when they needed it. Gave them that insurance marker and sort of sent a signal that they were not going to be wilting on this night. That was Struddy's world. 2 for the price of 1. Wow. One 1 plus a half. We'll give you a half a point for the Evander
Fair
Kane
point.
Struddy's World. Brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. Okay. Last couple of segments here. We've got Ask Us Anything. We've also got Gem of the Day, but Zuby, I think you saw on the stream, we got our Gem of the Day, a fantastic story from the stream that we're going to get to later in the podcast. So Sherry shared a great story with us. That'll already, I'm basically pulling rank here.
Perfect.
Unless something crazy happens, that will be our Gem of the Day. Let's get to Ask Us Anything, though, brought to you by Match Eatery and Public House. Your destination for all the sports action, big screens, ice cold beer, all your pub favorites perfected. Match Eatery and Public House. It's located right adjacent to Rogers Place in Grand Villa Casino. So if you're on your way into the game, check it out. If you're on your way out, check it out. Let the crowds die down. Have a cold beverage. Visit matchpub.com. Zuby, the stream is happy tonight.
It is a completely different vibe in the stream on a win night. It's
Shocking.
Everyone's getting along, dogs and cats living together. It's wonderful.
I'm sitting this out, by the way. I'm just going to let Struds and Brownie do all the reacting. I'm just going to sit back and let my employees do great work this segment. So this is all you guys. Organize yourselves, make it smooth, wrap it up at an appropriate time. I'll be back here.
Watch this. You're going to like this. Jay McMillan says, Kane, Nugent, Hyman had a very stellar game. Could be a nice second line combo. Struds?
Yeah, I like it. I still want to see the big guys separated, 97 and 29. I think it's a better look. So yeah, there's something going on there, and you're trying to get this team rolling. But Brownie, long term, I do want to see those two guys separated. You?
100%. I think at times that is a very good second line, but I do believe the Oilers are a better team when Connor and Leon are on separate lines.
Tougher matchups. Next.
I agree.
Thomas M says, what did you think of Ernie's 3 minutes of ice time? Can the Oilers do this long term? Play with 10 forwards essentially and still find success, Brownie?
No. And this is something that Strudge has been talking about all year long, and we've been talking about for the last couple of years, is the Oilers, if they want to be a Stanley Cup contending team, they need more players involved. And now there's going to be games where your fourth line doesn't play much, but it can't be a consistent thing. Everyone's got to feel a part of it. And as much as Ernie enjoyed the thrill of a victory on Commonwealth in the Heritage Classic, I'm sure he would have enjoyed being a bigger part of it. So no, I don't think this is sustainable. I think you have to get everyone involved. And Struds, I'm guessing this is something that you have been preaching, and you agree with that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Right. So I think that it is a problem, short and long term. We need you guys. We need 4 lines in playoffs, but we only play 2.5. Oh, okay. It's not going to be good. So I think it's a challenge. Next.
Okay, dovetailing with that a little bit, we saw that Raphael Lavoie had the Gordie Howe hat trick. He's had a hot start to the season down in Bakersfield. Matt Somerville asked, what is the pathway for Lavoie to get the call up in your guys' minds, Struds?
Well, I think he's got to keep doing what he's doing. You've got to kick the door down and force them to call you up. The worst thing you do is go down there and be ineffective or pout or, pretend you have a sore groin. But I love that he's coming there and he's just knocking the door down, and when there is an injury, they have the opportunity to call someone. It'll be him, and he'll be ready to go, Brownie.
Yeah, 100%. But the pathway for him to get up to the Edmonton Oilers is injury. He's not coming up unless someone goes down with an injury. So that's what they need for him to be up here. But good on him. And the thing is, make the Oilers notice, but also the rest of the National Hockey League notice as well.
Shaggy, it looked like Shaggy, you were maybe going to jump in on that one. Did you have No,
No,
continue.
I think he's
Okay.
good.
Thomas M said, Oilers were much more aggressive with pucks towards the net tonight and spent less time cycling the perimeter. This needs to continue. Throw pucks on net and get lucky. It doesn't need to be perfect. Did you see that, Brownie?
100%. I think the Oilers, and we talked about it, the Oilers in a number of their losses this season have been too perimeter. They've stayed on the outside, shots from the outside. These NHL goaltenders don't let those in often. So put pucks in front of that and battle in front of the net. Battle in the blue paint. See what happens. Throw pucks on net, maybe a rebound comes out. Hey, Kulak scores. Throw a puck on net, maybe you get a lucky bounce. Desharnais scores. I think it's something that they talk about, and tonight they put it into their game plan, and they were very good at it. So Struds, if the Oilers want to continue to push forward, this has got to be a team that battles hard in front of in the blue paint, and both in front of their net, but as we saw tonight, in front of the opposition's net.
Yeah, 100%. And sometimes possession can be misleading. You know, you're holding the puck and making things happen, but you're not really attacking the other team's net. So I like that there's more of a focus to get those pucks to the net and make it difficult for the other team. Maybe we'll get to one more here, and then we'll get to Gem of the Night here.
Okay, good. I'm going off the board away from hockey because I've had this question on my Struddy's World thing for a long time, Zuby's World. It's not real. Anyway, best TV show of all time. Struds, go.
Seinfeld. Lock it.
Ooh, that is a good one. Seinfeld is a good one. Let's give a little love to Chandler Bing, who passed away. Friends. It was a great show. But you know what? I'm going to even go old school. Cheers.
Oh,
I'm going back to Cheers.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to like that. Are you a Diane fan, or what was the one that came on after Kirstie Alley? Which one were you?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. They were both.
I was Shelley Long. I was Shelley Long. I was Diane.
Yeah. She was nice. What about you, Shogger? You want to chime in on this one?
Sopranos has to be up there. I mean,
that's a good one.
Spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
The Wire was off the charts good too. But honestly, probably my favorite is The West Wing. I was a huge West Wing guy.
I want to change mine. I want to go from Cheers to The West Wing. I love The West Wing. Love The West Wing.
I'm with Struds. I'm a Seinfeld guy, and I always laugh at myself flipping through the channels. When I get a minute, I'll be flipping through all these new shows on. I'll be like, ooh, Seinfeld. Haven't seen that in a while. It's like, boom, doesn't matter what else is on, all these other great. It's a golden era of TV, and I still watch that every time.
Yeah, that was definitely a gut shot though, that Matthew Perry thing, and my wife is a massive Friends, massive Friends fan. So it was really, really tough. By the way, we should also acknowledge Adam Johnson, who passed away. Just a really tragic accident that happened, and just a really hard day for the hockey world. I thought they did a really nice job having a moment of silence for him tonight before the game as well. So, prayers go out to the entire family, because that was definitely a tough one. But we do have a bit of a pick-me-up here. We love stories of people having great hockey experiences, and that's going to be our gem of the day. Brought to you by United Cycle, United Sport and Cycle, Edmonton's most iconic home for everything sports. It's definitely your home for hockey, from sticks and skates to masks and pads. They can get you outfitted and ready to dominate on the ice. Check them out at unitedsport.ca. Zuby, do you have the story off the stream there from Sherry?
I do.
Well, this is your time to talk.
All right.
What's going on tonight?
I was getting it back. I texted it to you.
So, no, you go for it.
So this is Sherry Frazee. She's on the stream all the time, and I know that she resides in Hawaii. And she chimed in on the stream tonight, and she said, traveled from Hawaii with my daughter for the game. I went to the first Heritage Classic 20 years ago with my late father. Oh, wow. So it was amazing to take my 25-year-old daughter to the game today. Pretty awesome. Like I said back to her in the stream, you know, hockey is generational. It's so that's pretty awesome that she got to do
awesome. That. Yeah, Sherry's a big contributor on the stream, so we love that story, and that is by far the gem of the night, brought to you by United Sport and Cycle. Okay, you guys rattled me, because if I'm being honest here, that was by far the best Ask Us Anything segment we've ever had. Is it just me, Zuby, or did that not just sing? Like, that was fast, it was concise.
It was it was faster than that. It was a hair. Well, it was only two voices. It was instead of three chiming in.
But the info was good, and they played off each other really well, and the questions were smooth. And
you know what? We had good questions trickle in, especially late here today, that were like topical, and we had good questions roll in today. So I think it was just an accumulation of the same way someone else asked, were the Oilers that good or the Flames that bad? Probably both. Kind of the same thing here. It's just a few things conspired to make that a great segment.
Feeling a little insecure here, Struds. You want to reassure me at all, or?
Well, when you've got 2 lead singers, you don't need 3. So, you know.
All right, nice job tonight. It was a weird podcast tonight, but you know what? It was a long, kind of weird day. So thank you for tuning in on the live stream. And if you're listening in podcast form on a Monday morning, hope your week is getting off to a great start. More podcasts. We haven't figured out our schedule yet, so I don't know when, but keep an eye. Download and subscribe, and then it'll just be there on your phone waiting for you. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks to our title sponsor, Sherwood Buick GMC. Oilers with a big Heritage Classic win over the Calgary Flames. Talk soon, folks. Enjoy it.